New York is known as the city that never sleeps. However, it could also be the city that never stops eating. And eating, and eating, and eating. We explored NYC and discovered the different types of food that ultimately represent the overall culture and spirit of the unique city. Our first stop was Les Bernardins, one of the best restaurants in New York City. Les Bernardins has gained a reputation as one of the world's premier restaurants. Their menu changes day by day, but they are known for serving the best seafood available. Commonly, you will see dishes such as pan-roasted monkfish with truffle potato emulsion, or a red wine brancy sauce. The restaurant seats less than 100 people and is furnished with modern decor. The eating room is elegant, while not over-impressive. The kitchen, on the other hand, is state-of-the-art. The price ranges from $55 for lunch to $500 a person for a private room during dinner. We sat down with Chef Eric Reipert, the head chef, and asked him a few questions. It seemed best to begin by asking Chef Reipert where Les Bernardins got its start.
Les Bernardins were an order of monks in the Middle Age in France, and they were famous. They were misbehaving. Let me tell you right now. They were famous for loving food, wine, and women as well. In many ways, and I'm not saying it's good or bad, but in many ways it's very French. So when Le Bernardin opened, it was a French restaurant, and we thought the name would evoke people enjoying lifestyle. It started in Paris 30-something years ago, and it was a very small restaurant, only 18 seats. It was the brother and the sister in the dining room, the brother in the kitchen, and that's it, no employees, no. And it became, finally, because in the beginning they struggled, but it became a success. And in France we have different ratings than in America. In America the New York Times gives stars, and you have the Zagat guide. In France the Michelin guide, or Michelin guide, it's the most powerful guide, and when the Michelin give you 1 star, it's a big deal, and suddenly you become an instant success. 2 stars is exceptional. 3 stars being it's very rare. There's only 43 stars in the world, something like that today. So they got 1 star, became successful, moved to another location in Paris, got 2 stars, became very successful, and then wanted to come to America. And in 1986 they opened Le Bernardin in New York City, and got all the rewards from the beginning, from the press.
This restaurant has received many awards and achieved many great things. When asked about these accomplishments, Chef Reipert had this to say.
We have in our industry an award which is the equivalent of the Oscars, obviously less prestigious. It's for the cooks and the chefs and the professionals. So we won it's called the James Beard Foundation, who's giving those awards. We won basically every award. We are #1 in the Zagat Guide in New York, and we are 4-star New York Times. We are 3-star Michelin, and I think those are the culinary achievements. Obviously, there's many other achievements which I think are not public and highly regarded, but achievements for me also mean the mentoring part, and when you have someone you mentor succeeding and things like that.
When we asked Chef Reipert about the impact that he has made on NYC cuisine, he had this to say.
I guess the fact that we specialize in seafood and we have a certain philosophy and a certain style, and the fact that we are good in sharing our knowledge with the rest of the industry, I guess by doing that we have an influence in terms of how seafood is treated, how you cook fish and how you prepare fish, and how you make a successful dish with seafood.
We also asked Chef Reipert how the city has influenced him.
The city is definitely, New York City, as you know, is it's an incredible city because it attracts different cultures. It's different boroughs with different cultures in it, and if you go to certain parts of the city, you may end up with a very South American influence, or you can have a very Asian influence, you can have a very European influence. Being a chef and being curious, obviously visiting New York City and eating in different parts of New York City bring access. I mean, I have the access to other cultures, and that definitely influences our cooking.
We talked with Chef Ripert about how long he's enjoyed cooking.
All my life, not to work but to eat. I was always a gourmand, and I always wanted to eat well, and I was really a cookie monster, eating all the time, and I thought if I was in the kitchen I would be able to eat all the time. So that was really a naive approach, because obviously you work a lot and you don't eat that much. But that was really the motivation on the beginning.
We also asked Chef Ripert about his culinary schooling.
I was a very bad student, very, very bad, to the point that, you know, I'm sure you have that in America too. At one point, after high school, you decide if you go into college or if you get out of school. So the teachers said to my parents, you know, he really cannot stay. He has to go. And I was delighted because I could go to culinary school. So I started at 15 culinary school and graduated at 17. And from there went to Paris, working in a very old and famous restaurant in Paris called La Tour d'Argent. It's 420 something years old. And from there, obviously, went with different chefs, famous chefs, and ended up finally in 91 at Le Bernardin. Well, there's a big difference in between a cook and a chef. A chef is it's basically the conductor of the orchestra. The cook is a musician. So when I started in this industry, I was not envisioning myself as a chef. I enjoyed cooking very much, playing the instrument. And then obviously maturing and being in kitchen, and suddenly I got interest in becoming a chef. But that was probably in the late 80s.
To wrap it all up, we asked Chef Ripert if he had any advice for young, aspiring chefs.
Yes. Today, a lot of because of the media mostly, a lot of the chefs become celebrities. A lot of the chefs have TV programs, and I see a young audience being interested in being a celebrity chef. First of all, for maybe 5 celebrity chefs, you have millions of other chefs cooking everywhere. But it's a little bit like the fascination with Hollywood is very similar. A lot of young talents want to be a movie star, and they forget that you have to be an actor. You have to, you have to enjoy acting. So if someone wants to become a chef, you have to remember that it's about cooking. It's not about the pictures in the magazines. It's not about the success. It's about cooking.
However, NYC isn't all 5-star. We searched the streets for restaurants that showed a more common side of New York. We found it when Alan Mullins of Le Croissant Chub and Jose Constantino, who runs a vendor stand, kindly agreed to answer some of our questions. Here's what they had to say. What are your hours?
We open at 6 and close at 5 o'clock.
7, close 5:30.
What is your busiest time of day?
Around noon to 2 o'clock.
The business is a rain, cold, not business. Okay, understand?
So it depends on the weather more than the time.
Yeah, it's a rain. It's hot. It's beautiful day. It's busy. It's a week. 7 days busy.
What's the most popular food that you sell?
Most popular foods, salad bar.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs, yes.
300 hot dogs a day.
Wow. Wow. Are most of your customers New York residents, or are they tourists?
Most of our business comes right from the building here.
No, it's a lot of people world, it's Italian, France.
How long has this shop been here?
Over 14 years.
Have you always been in this spot?
No, it's a Central Park, is everything. One day One day it is day carrossel, taverna.
What do you enjoy the most about your job?
Money. I'm sorry. That's what people's in business for.
New York is full of life, sound, entertainment, and especially food. Keep on eating, NYC.